Championships, of course, a couple of years ago. I know that you were I was over there in Ireland, and Savannah, which is incredible. She was formerly compound and switched across to recurve. So this is her first USAT gold medal match in the recurve division. Newly married, of course, as well. So it's been an interesting few months. Married to Matt Nofel, January 1st, I think they got married. So seems to me that married life is treating her well. She's got to a USAT gold medal match, and Gabrielle, who was at the I think Junior Pan Am qualifier a few weeks back, got a slot there for the US, and also a medalist at the World Youth Championships a couple of years ago.
Mixed team silver.
Yeah. So the conditions, from what we've seen over the last few days, it's a little calmer, to say the least.
Yes, very much so. Yeah, right now we're just looking at a little bit of left to right wind. Not as swirly as it has been. You know, qualification yesterday, it was a really heavy headwind. So to see a crosswind here is definitely a little bit different. You're aiming different. So curious to see these first shots here where they're impacting and where they're having to figure out that they need to aim.
So I think we've got Savannah. It is a married name, although that's her maiden name up there at the moment. I think in the scoring system, that's not been switched over. So we will Savannah Nofel.
Yep.
So do not adjust your screens. It is the same person.
Yeah, so these first few shots here, it's really important to make sure you're making strong shots, because sometimes on the practice field the wind is a little bit different than the finals. So right now I assume they're focused on making strong shots and then seeing, okay, if I'm hitting a little bit to the right more than I expected, I'm going to aim off a little bit more to the left and such.
Does Savannah normally wear the sunglasses? Has she been wearing those during qualification?
I've noticed that within the last year or so, she's been starting to wear some sort of glasses. Indoors she wears something clear. And then outdoors she wears something with shades. I'm not quite sure the exact reason, but I've noticed in the last year or so she started to wear some sort of eyewear while she shoots.
Gabby's always lively, and we can see her now just rocking back and forth on the stage there.
Very bubbly personality. So
absolutely.
I'm sure she's up there just, staying positive and trying to stay in her bubble.
And a man you'll know very well, Chris Webster, behind Savannah. He'll be heading down with you guys to Florida over the next day or so. And new head coach, Elias.
Yes.
Elias, you've been working with him over the last few weeks. He's been at Chula Vista.
Yeah, we had a camp right after Vegas, and so it was great to have, get familiar with him. Of course, like a new coach coming in, that's a whole experience to get adjusted. Everybody has a little bit of a different coaching style, different perspective, and so to have the team go there and have that experience working with him was great. And so I'm super excited to see what he does for this team. Definitely have very high hopes moving forward working with him.
And you had a tremendous year last year, world number one, and obviously medaling at the Olympic Games. And we've seen that kind of roar from you now. It's become almost like your trademark.
Oh yeah, in a way. I would hope so. Yeah, you see all these archers out here, right? Some of them show emotion and some of them don't. That's just, I guess, personal preference, personality. I'm one who I like to show that, that grit and that relief, and that comes out in a roar. So
no, it's fantastic.
Curious to see how one of these ladies will celebrate
how they react
once the match is decided.
Well, Gabby with the edge after that,
just
that
1
first
point.
end.
Yeah, so she's up 2-0.
Savannah will get us underway. End number 2. And where are you in terms of because again, for you guys, you have the indoor season, and then you're straight into it. You're straight into outdoors,
right.
Arizona Cup, World Cup. So how is that transition of training?
It's definitely hard. So I was shooting outdoors starting a little bit before Vegas, just because we had this coming up so quick. And so I started shooting outdoors around February, and so now we have, this was the first USAT. It was a few weeks after our last indoor, so everybody was really having to make those equipment changes, hoping the weather's nice outside. Most places now is still a little cold, so having to deal with those conditions there and find a good setup, good tune, and get those reps in. Yeah, I know Gabby's from the Seattle area. And I imagine that's got to be cold, you know, still at this time of year. So that's definitely a challenge in of itself, is finding like, okay, can I comfortably practice, you know, with the weather conditions. It might be rain, it might be snow, but trying to get those arrows in preparation for these events. That was a lot of wind there. It's definitely starting to pick up since the first end.
6 or more for Gabby, and she'll take a big advantage. 7, that'll do it, 25-23. So racing into a 4-0 lead for Gabrielle Sasai.
All right. Yeah, wind like this is tricky, like where it keeps picking up and slowing down. You have to really pay attention between every shot to see what the flags are doing, and just be confident in picking your spot. You know, if you're unsure of your spot and you shoot an arrow that isn't confident, it's definitely going to be affected a lot more by that wind than if you just pull up and shoot the most confident shot you can. So that's definitely the biggest part of strategy here in the wind.
And it's only 20 seconds, isn't it? It's not.
Yeah,
it's not
it's
a long
fast,
time.
right.
You can't think, well, I'll wait for the gap. I'll wait for the
No
wind to
gap,
drop.
Really, yeah. So with 20 seconds, you know, you have to make your move, and there's not really any time to wait it out, because, you know, average shot for most people is probably around 12 seconds, and so there's really not much time in there between, you know, maybe taking a breath before you shoot and then the wind starting and stopping. Like, there's not really time to wait, so you just have to roll with the punches and do the best you can with the conditions you have. And
Savannah, of course, at the National Elite Program in North Carolina, so I suspect, you know, they've got the facilities indoor, and the weather's probably a little kinder there this time of year, so I assume she's been able to get outdoors, maybe, as you say, a little bit more than Gabby has. So interesting how they've both arrived here at the gold medal match.
For this end,
got a 4-0 lead.
Savannah on target
Gabby.
1 will be shooting first.
You can hear that breeze, which is not always an indicator, because that might just be hitting some of our microphones, and the socks seem to be a little, well, not as active as they have been.
It's definitely slowed down since that last end. That last end was the windiest so far that I've seen.
So there's a big third end then for Savannah.
Yep, so she needs to get set points here to stay in the match. That was a strong shot.
There we go. You could tell from Chris Webster's, yep.
Yep, the trademark, yep. It's a nice shot as well. They both look very calm and collected. I'm noticing like a lot of confidence. Like after both of those shots, they like nodded their head like, yeah, that was good. That's great to see that confidence.
8.
Just opened the door a little bit for Gabby there.
9. So they're tied going into this last arrow of the set. I saw Gabby just move her sight a little bit. She was like in that high left corner, great group, so just gave it a few clicks. That was a nice shot.
9 from
just out.
Savannah. So
9 to tie.
9 to tie, 10 to win it. She's dropped
Just
it into
out.
the 8.
It'll be 4-2.
Savannah back in the game.
That was a stronger end. I'm thinking they figured out the wind patterns a little bit there. Made a lot of strong shots.
Sawyer was with us earlier, Sawyer Sullivan. He'll be, of course, heading for the compound division to Florida, and he was saying that there's maybe, and the way he worded it, there was kind of less anticipation going to Florida, and the way he looked at it, and I didn't want to say, well, is that slightly a defeatist approach, because he said, because the journey back, if you don't do so well, the journey home's not so bad. How are you viewing it, a home World Cup stage on home soil?
I view it as far as the competition all the same. You know, I'm somebody who I try to approach every competition with the same mindset, no matter how big or small, or, you know, how what it counts for, whatever it is. I try to approach it the same, but I am excited about it being in the U.S. because I'm hoping that a lot of locals come watch. You know, we've had events all over the world, and the locals will come watch, and it's just something different because archery is small, right? Like, it's not a huge sport, and so to get the word of archery out there is great, and have people from the local cities come and watch is definitely a neat experience, and to have that hometown crowd is definitely somewhat of an advantage, especially in the finals. So I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Do you have a 2025 plan, or is it a tournament by tournament plan?
I'd say I have a 2025 plan, especially with like my goals and such. That's how I like to plan out, at least for the outdoor season. I plan out each season with goals. So looking forward to this season, just hoping to apply what I learned from last year and really support my teammates, and hope to bring home some more team medals this year. I think we just as a team, we've gotten so much experience, and we have so many new people coming in too, that I think we can do really well as a team. So I'm excited to see how we perform this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, end number 4, 4-2 for Gabby Sasai. Savannah will fire down the first arrow, having fought back to win the last set.
That's 9.
Maybe she's beginning to find her stride a little bit now, is Savannah.
Quick shot.
9.
Just a gentle nod of the head from Gabrielle. And what did you see? Because you're up against Savannah earlier. So what did you see from her? I know it's you're focused on your own game,
right.
but
she shot super consistently against me. I will say, I will give it to her. She shot amazing. Definitely has earned her way to this stage today. She was just super consistent. You know, like the wind was changing up a little bit, and she stayed within the gold for sure. I think she maybe had 1 arrow out of the yellow. She was just super consistent and had the wind figured out for sure, and so super proud to see her in this gold medal match here today.
Because you've had her number the last few years, you realise that at this event.
We've had some matches here, yes, but no, it's good to see that other talent come through, and so I'm very excited for these ladies here today.
All square then, 4-4, 26-25.
Yeah, we have a match here. It's good to see.
A strong finish there from Gabby with that 6. Will and again, it was something I was mentioning to Sawyer, because we saw McKenna hit a 7, and then she kind of upped her game. And when you have a 9 and a 10, and then you think, God, that 6 in the middle, how easy? And I know you know you're professional athletes. You block it all out. You have the kind of the mental coaching. How easy is it really to say, right, that 6 is gone. It's gone.
It's definitely hard because, like, you know, you're up on this stage, the eyes are on you, and you're like, oh crap, you know, would have liked to shoot a better shot than that. But at the end of the day, there's no good that's going to come out of dwelling on it. You know, the longer you dwell on it, the more it's going to affect you. So you just have to compartmentalize, move on, and give the next shot your best try. It's definitely picking up here.
Yeah, there you can see the behavior of the windsock. And the sun is out, bright blue skies.
It's definitely the hottest it's been so far this weekend. The first few days were a little bit chilly, especially in the mornings, but it's beautiful out today. Not a cloud in the sky at the moment.
We've still got another match to come after the Recurve man Jackson Mirich, Brady Ellison. Jackson was the winner in 2023. Brady has won it 9 times here, so he's going for win number 10.
That's awesome.
I think his first win was back in 2007.
I was 3 years old.
Don't tell him that.
I will. Oh my.
4-4 into the 5th end. Savannah has come back from 4 down. And Gabby to go first.
9.
Let's see how Savannah can respond.
8.
Just out low.
Advantage, Gabby.
1 point, very close. It's good.
9.
She's right there dancing around the 10 ring.
Savannah would love a 10 here. just to make things interesting into that that third arrow.
There's a 10.
And there we go.
Right, tied into the last arrow. This is a great match. 9.
9.
So a 10 to win.
Savannah for the win.
Oh,
3.
She went well wide on there. What happened?
I think the wind caught her a little bit
Caught
there.
there.
She didn't look exactly pleased with that shot. So,
Oh.
yeah.
So Gabby Sasai 6-4 with the win. 4-0 up.
She stayed
Savannah.
very consistent. Had that one little wild shot, but otherwise kept it pretty consistent. So
Well,
great
good away.
shooting.
Yeah, that was fantastic. And for Savannah coming back there to 4-4 and just that rogue arrow at the end. But we'll try and get word with Gabby once we have cleared the stage. And it's all on one arrow. I mean, ultimately it came down to that one arrow.
Right, that very last one. Yeah, it's super exciting when you have that pressure going into the last arrow. You know you need whatever number it is, right? So you're just focusing on making a good shot. Unfortunately, there, like the wind just picked up, and you could see like it just took her off to the side. So, but Gabby did a great job. Both ladies did.
Savannah Nofel and our gold medalist for women's senior recurve, Gabrielle Sasai.
How does that